bread and other grain-related products are really worrisome, A, because of their gluten issue, but most importantly because of their carbohydrate content.
I don't even know if we need to say anything about this.
Yeah.
Just no.
Okay.
I call wheat the perfect obesogen. Food perfectly crafted to make you fat. Wheat is in all frozen dinners, all breakfast cereals, taco seasoning mixes, instant soup mixes, canned soup, salad dressings. In other words, of the 60,000 products in the average supermarket today, 59,000 have wheat.
There is nothing you can get at a grain that you can't get anywhere else. Not even close, in fact. Meat, seafood, vegetables, fruit, nuts and seeds, and eggs have so much more to give.
Maple and brown sugar, heart healthy. You know that can't be right, right?
Wheat was added 10,000 years ago, which sounds like a long time because it predates the Egyptian Empire, the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, but 10,000 years represents less than 0.5% of human race's time on Earth.
We went from a diet that was 90% meat and fat to suddenly relying on grains and legumes for the very first time in our evolutionary history.
These all gotta go. You know, when a label goes out of its way to tell you how healthy it is, like 100% whole grain, reduced fat.
By taking fat out,
you guarantee that people have to shift over to high carbohydrate foods. That's just what happens.
Fat is a critically important part of our diet, but we've got to be super selective because some fats are very threatening to our health.
The reason olive oil is so good is because you can get the oil out of the olive really easily. It's like cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. But you take something like this poison.
In order to make packaged food, you need a fat that's solid and stable. So everything on a supermarket shelf, cookies, crackers, chips, need a hard fat, a solid fat. That's what gives it shelf life. If you get rid of butter, suet, tallow, lard, traditional fats, as our guidelines told us to do, what's left? Hardened vegetable oils, which is basically trans fats.
we don't want to use any of the vegetable oils like corn oil or safflower oil, soybean oil.
Vegetable oils are toxic. They're industrial oils. They are foods that we could not have manufactured until the industrial era. There are seeds that have oil in them, but that don't release their oil readily, so you have to use high heat and solvents to do so. That totally wrecks the molecules, destroys many of the antioxidants. It's a mangled, disgusting, smelly mess. Every cell in your body is wrapped in a membrane that's made out of about half fat and half protein. If the fatty acids comprising your cell membrane are unnatural, that cell membrane cannot function in the way that it's supposed to function. And that's the beginning of disease. It starts at the cellular level. Vegetable oils are acting like little miniature Trojan horses. Your body doesn't recognize them as not natural. It will make cell membranes. It'll make brain cells. But it's as if you were trying to build a house and your contractor said, well, we don't have any bricks, but we do have these little styrofoam balls. Let's go for it.
Did the food grow on the planet? Did it swim in the water? Did it run on land? That's food.
The one question I wish every single doctor on this planet would ask every single one of their patients is, what are you eating?
We have gotten a really nice selection of leafy green vegetables. We've got some excellent proteins, wild salmon, bison, fresh ginger root. We have some nice fat choices. We're going to be cooking with some coconut oil and lard. What we're doing is focusing on things that are natural.
In the Western world, we're not suffering diseases of underconsumption. In fact, it's the opposite. We're suffering diseases of overconsumption. And once we get rid of refined oils, processed foods, refined grains, what we're left with is vegetables, fruit, nuts and seeds, meat, seafood, and good healthy fats. And that is what we should be focusing on.
Okay, here's the turmeric.
Yep. So we're going to use some coconut oil to the pan.
Yeah, Barry, you know the pan spray I had? Had to throw it out.
Well, there's no question that the brain can burn glucose. What powers the brain far more efficiently in terms of its energy-producing components, called the mitochondria, is fat.
So we're going to get lard all over our hands?
Yes.
Okay.
Our brains thrive in a fat-burning environment. Now, technically, we call this a state of ketosis. And to get into a state of ketosis, one assumes what is called a ketogenic diet, which basically means a diet that's lower in carbs and higher in fat.
Oh, that smells amazing with that garlic.
Barry, have you ever cooked anything like this in your life?
No.
Being in a mild state of ketosis is really the place to be.
Okay, this is my first video diary. I started this new way of eating today. I figured since we're talking about all natural, I'm going to torment people by having on no makeup. Okay, I know this is not supposed to be a big old cooking show, but here we have some lamb with the bone in, and I am sauteing them in some coconut oil, and the green you see is kale that I just removed. And I made some riced cauliflower so that I can feel like I'm having carbs. Bone broth in all of these, by the way. Normally, I would just go out and eat 3 times a day. I'm so used to grabbing and going, but I am really gonna do this. I am gonna do this. I have to do this.
Emma's convinced that we were punishing her. You eat some chicken? No. No, why not? She's like, why are you taking all of my food away? This is mean. I can't eat macaroni and cheese. I can't eat chicken nuggets. I can't eat SpaghettiOs. She just went down the list. Tattering through this list of junk. I'm just like, man, we didn't feed her anything healthy. Like, we literally took away everything that our children have been eating. Okay, don't throw it. Those are scrambled eggs on the floor. She just started pushing my hand away as I was sticking the fork into her mouth. And then she literally crawled across the counter and she grabbed this bag of goldfish that was sitting there and she ripped it open and just starts shoveling handfuls of goldfish into her mouth. It reminded me of when I was a drug addict and I would get my bag and I'd be fiending for something. I'd be fiending for a fix. Oh, for goodness sake. The first 5 days, she starved herself. She barely ate anything. Yeah, I'm burnt out, man. I'm burnt out. That was the turning point. She was just more and more. Good job. I mean, she just was a bottomless pit. Abigail's eating coconut. And from that day forward, it was like she was eating everything I gave her. Everything.
There you go.
Barry texted me the day that she was eating with a fork.
There you go. Good job.
He texted me that she had never done that before, that she was eating a piece of steak with a fork.
And what is she eating? Steak and kale.
And I mean, I was literally jumping up and down, and I think he was too. I was so happy.
She just took the fork and stuck the steak and popped it in her mouth like she's been doing it her whole life. It was crazy. So anyways, we're doing great. I'm looking forward to seeing where she's at in another 2 weeks. There you go. Good job.
When a little baby's put in your arms and you giggle and they giggle back, this little body is talking to me without language, but talking in their own way. And the baby lights up. He never lit up. We knew from the moment he was put in our arms at 2 weeks old, we knew something was amiss. When he was 3, I decided to put him on a specific carbohydrate diet. Just meat, vegetable, fruit, nuts and seeds. 3rd day on specific carbohydrate diet, he fed himself for the first time. The 5th day, he said his first word. So I almost fell over on my chair. He said, "We come for welcome." Because I said, "Thank you." I would always talk to him. And it was always me doing the talking, us doing the talking. And he, wouldn't answer to his name, all that typical autism stuff. I said, "Thank you." And he said, "We come." One of the things, though, that always bothered me was that he didn't seem to be able to stop bobbing, rocking, verbal noises. And so I was already beginning to wonder about if he needed something more.
We're at the Shriners Hospitals for Children in Honolulu. We take care of children with brain-based disorders. Specifically, we specialize in autism, ADHD, and other developmental problems. Use this hand and tap your fingers. Our medical study involves a clinical trial. We're investigating not only if the ketogenic diet impacts children with autism, but also how it might impact children with autism. To help with their language, help with their socialization. We want children to be able to interact meaningfully with their families again.
You put that one in there. And you can push it off with yeah.
The ketogenic diet and the state of ketosis changes the metabolism in the body. And so instead of using glucose as your primary go-to fuel, the body taps into ketones.
Do you want butter too, or you're fine?
I'm okay. Yeah. Ketones are acids that the body produces from fat. It cannot be produced from carbohydrates or sugars.
He likes coconut oil all over everything.
And the body uses the ketones for energy for the brain and the free fatty acids for the muscles.
Good balance. Open your eyes. Aaron Thatcher's been on the ketogenic diet for approximately 6 months. He has seen an improvement in some of the core features of his autism, including increased socialization, interaction with his mom.
Just to get him peaceful. Yep. It is huge. Brings peace to the whole family. And I would say, our loving interactions are more.
Increase independence and self-care skills, decrease in his stereotypic repetitive movements and behaviors.
Aaron, we're going to put these puzzle together, okay? Start with these, and I have some here, and let me know when you need more.
As evidenced by his scores on the ADOS, he initially, pre-diet, had an ADOS score of 16, which is in the high range for autism. And on his 3-month follow-up, had a score of 8.
What do you like doing that makes you feel happy and cheerful?
Coming here.
Coming here? You like coming here? Okay, what are some other things that make you feel happy?
Taking a bus.
Taking a bus, that sounds fun. Okay, how about things that you're afraid of? Are there things that...
Turtles.
Turtles like in the story that we read?
The ocean.
Oh, the honu in the ocean. That makes you feel afraid?
I was watching Aaron take the ADOS, and there are questions on the test, like, what do you find scary? And he said,
turtles.
Great, A+, right? So I said, can you say that in a complete sentence?
Given the opportunity, he probably could.
He did. We did give him the opportunity.
Can you tell me in a full sentence?
I'm afraid of turtles.
Awesome. Tell me in a full sentence what makes you feel happy.
I feel happy. I took the bus.
Awesome.
That's more therapeutic than the question that we asked him.
Do you ever feel sad? Can you describe what it's like when you feel sad?
Sometimes I feel lonely.
What makes you feel lonely?
When I be by myself.
Oh, can you say that in a full
Full
sentence?
sentence.
I feel
upset. because I'm a lonely person by myself.
There are some common metabolic processes in the body that exist within every cell in our body. If you take in a medicine, you're targeting a specific mechanism within the body. Whereas if you approach it more broadly, such as through food, we might be able to influence a variety of organ systems, including the brain, the pancreas, the liver, muscle cells, blood vessels, etc., through one intervention. And this is not a new thought. This is an old thought, thousands of years old.